Hey guys, welcome to the Money Tree. I'm David Holt.
And I'm David Marks.
And we are
Doing David. How do you like that?
He's having a good day.
You want to? I have a good day most days.
Do you?
Yeah.
I did too.
I'm a very optimistic person. For the most part.
Some days.
If there's going to be someone coming to a counselor meeting, which I was at today, we had one. If there's going to be one person walk in that room who is singing and smiling and happy, it's usually me.
That's good.
I don't know what that really says about.
That means you're a happy person. You need to be happy.
Of course, I'm jamming out to music usually when I do that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Beethoven. When he drove up tonight to the video, I looked over and he's dancing in his car,
that is true.
Filming himself
that is true.
Dancing in the car.
You guys will get to see that. We're going to do a Money Tree leaflet. How you like that? We're going to do a money
leaflet. Okay.
Yeah, and it's going to be a little short video of what we actually do.
A leaflet is like a pamphlet.
A pamphlet.
Yeah.
Is there a PH in there?
I don't know.
I just thought I'd throw that in there. Pamphlet. Anyway, it is a very short.
Why don't you say a vignette? Because that's a video.
Big words there. Vignette. A Money Tree vignette. But see, I tried to relate it to trees.
Leaflet. Okay.
Because if you call the National Audubon Society and say, have you got a vignette, they're going to just probably hang up on you. I'm just saying.
There might be an intelligent person.
Or would it be
what?
Would it be the Arbor Day Foundation?
Arbor Day?
Maybe so. I don't know.
Could be.
Anyway, I love music, and it kind of goes with my personality. So yes, I might have been jamming out a little bit to our leaflet.
The counselor meeting helped you today.
It did. Okay. It helped me to stay awake. And I learned some good information, and I got to see the fellow counselors I work with. They're great ladies.
I'm glad your supervisor watches our show, and she knows that you were paying attention.
She does. Well, she was sitting in the back of the room, so she would probably know if I wasn't anyway. Do you ever have that teacher-student complex, even as an adult? Let's just say, I don't know, in church sometimes, that you're sitting there and you've had to work a long day because you work extra jobs, right?
Yes. I manage the community pool.
Right. So let's say that
I watch kids swim.
Okay. I was trying to have something quick to say to that.
There isn't. I mean, it's just lifeguards.
It's just what you do.
They're kids, and if you don't make them do their job, then they're going to play.
So let's say that you are watching those kids watch kids swim late. They have a big shindig, a big party of the night, and you get in kind of late, and you get up and go to early church the next day, and Brother Kevin's preaching, and you just kind of start to nod off. That would be what I'm talking about by the teacher-student complex as an adult.
And he would call me out and say, "Are you sleeping?"
I hope I would be there for that. And the Lord said, "David, wake up." That would be great.
Knock on wood, I've never fallen asleep in church that I honestly remember.
That's good. That's really good.
My dad was a Baptist preacher, and so I wasn't allowed to sit at the back because there might have been conversation.
So no backseat Baptist.
So I was the second row on the organ side.
Okay.
So I had to pay attention and I had to behave because my mother was behind me and all the other parents, the other kids' parents, I couldn't get that to come out.
I wasn't helping it either.
No, you weren't. And so we were really close, and back in those days, it wasn't a huge church. So like maybe 20 feet, Daddy was right there, and he could see if I wasn't paying attention. So,
and he would probably let you know it too, right?
So, I'd be grounded. So we're talking about money, and we got off on something else.
We are good at chasing rabbits. Well, the whole point of that is we've looked at how to eliminate debt.
Yes.
We've looked at how to manage your finances better. We've just covered how to write checks and keep a check registered and teach your children how to do that. There is a plethora of things that we have covered.
That means a lot, ladies and gentlemen.
That does mean a lot. And I really like to use that word.
Is this our 10th show?
This is our 10th show.
10.
Diaz. All right, so this is our 10th show, and today we're going to cover something that I feel like I'm going to have to lean on your expertise too. Because he may be the expert in this, and
no, I am not.
I may just have to sit here stoic the whole time.
He is pulling your leg, ladies and gentlemen. I know nothing about the stock market.
Right.
He is. What's what we're talking about today? The stock
market. Right.
Now we've been sharing stock picks that 5 at a time, and I was saying it earlier at the last show we did, which I thought was kind of catchy.
No, I thought you did very good. You had a catchy phrase.
Stock picks, yes. But I don't play the stock market because he's saying this is your mad money. My mad money goes toward dinners when I'll take the kids out with us. It goes to repairing the tires. It goes to repairing whatever breaks. We put some shutters up on our house.
Sure. All right.
So there went my mad money or my fun money.
Sure.
I mean,
well, and this
you have fun money. He's
Sure.
single, and so
Sure.
you just spend all this money doing whatever the heck you want to do. I have responsibilities, ladies and gentlemen.
well,
on the desk.
and even to the degree of you talking about working an extra job. See, I do that also. So I have a social marketing company that is on the side, and I also in a web design company, and I also have a woodworking business that I do on the side too. So just because you don't have as much responsibility doesn't mean you still don't want to do the additional work.
Well, we come from the old school where we work. I've been working
Sure.
all my life.
Sure, and I was raised to do that, and I
I've
still
worked
believe
every
in that.
summer, even when I was teaching school.
Sure.
I mean, now that I'm still teaching school, but all these years of teaching school, I've worked in the summer.
Well, and I've always just felt like that. Let's say that after we film today, that Mr. Blevins and yourself and I, our cameraman, Mr. Blevins, we want to go have a steak dinner. Then, and I wanted to treat everyone. I want to be able to do that. So the additional jobs I have allows me to do those kind of things when I can.
That's a great analogy there. Thank you.
Would that
for
be a good analogy?
Thank
I thought you might appreciate that one.
Appreciate that very
I thought
much.
you might. So let's just say that you have a little extra money laying around, metaphorically.
Now, we're not talking about pennies in the cup holder of your car.
No, this would be maybe money that you've set to the side or something like this. Is now
Like here-
first disclaimer on this. Let's throw this out there. This is not your 401k. This is not your retirement plan. I would never invest taking out your 401k and going through the process we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
This is money that you feel safe in putting into the market.
So basically, we're talking $50 to $100.
Yes,
start with.
To start with, even if you wanted to do 25, that might
Really?
be okay.
Only $25?
There is a friend I have who is a co-worker also that I was talking to him about this, and he literally started his program, whatever you want to say, with $10 because he was like, I got $10, I'll throw at that. So he put $10 into it. And
You know, I've actually bought $10 worth of lottery tickets before, so I guess I did have some extra change.
Well, I want to send a shout out to one of my supervisors at work because I actually did this. Heath Kirby, which is our assistant principal, told me one day I was talking about the stocks, and of course he was kind of giving me a hard time about it, and he said, you just take that money and go buy some lottery tickets. So Sunday I had to go see a student of ours who was injured over the weekend in a four-wheeler accident, and on my way back I went and bought a $5 scratch-off ticket, which is usually not something I would do. Guess how much I won?
Nothing.
Nothing. So what was my return?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Zero.
However, today I had about a 13% return on the market. So,
There you
and
go.
that's not every day, that's not always typical, but just to use that example, I had a 0% return out of one and a 13% return out of the other. And the last time I checked, 13 is a little bit higher than 0 when you're talking about returns.
So if you're like me and you know absolutely nothing about the stock market, you hadn't even tried, you didn't think you could, well, today's the day that not only you, but I guess I'm going to download the app and
Yes. The first thing you need to do is you need to ask yourself. Now, this is where we're just going to bust out of the gate.
try. Uh-oh.
The
The
first-
gate is open,
The
ladies
gate
and
is
gentlemen.
open. First thing I want you to ask yourself is, can you stand to lose money?
No.
Then you don't need to do this.
Well, okay.
I mean, it's that,
Lose money where I can't find it?
not lose it like, oh, I had a 20 and I must have dropped it. I'm talking
That's
about,
what you said, lose the money.
yes, can you stand to lose money?
Okay.
Because if you are going to lay in bed at night over $3 that you lose in the market today, this
Oh.
will drive you crazy. So,
Okay, I understand what you're
so you have to be willing to lose money to invest in the stock market. That
Okay.
is number one question. Number two,
saying. In other words, you can't be a tightwad. But you're
well,
a tightwad.
you can be, but I have to know.
Well, let me rephrase that. He's frugal.
So let me say that, you have to know that the market is like the ocean current. It comes in and it goes out. The ocean does. The market goes up and it goes down. So you have to know that if you lose 3 today, you may gain 3 tomorrow or more. And the deal with the market is you want to make sure that you're producing a gain. You never want to
Okay.
produce a deficit.
Okay. Well,
So-
let me go back to a question.
Okay.
Your friend that had $10,
Mhm.
and he started in the stock market with $10.
Mhm.
How much? I mean, I'm not saying you have his portfolio, but does he have $20 today?
The last, if you had that kind of return in the short amount of time that he did it, it would be pretty significant. The last time that he and I talked about it, and he had jumped in and just bought some, and I had advised him on a little bit, just a few cheaper stocks, and he had about $14 in his portfolio, so he was staying ahead. And a smart thing to do, if you want to do this, is with this, if you want to put $25 in, when you make $50, if you don't add any more to it, take that 25 out. Because then it's your profit.
Yeah.
It's not any of your actual money. So the second thing you need to ask yourself is, are you going to put into the work? Anytime that I'm going to invest into a company, you have to study that company. And we're going to talk about the things you can look at today to help you do that.
Okay. Is it hard?
No.
Okay.
It's all pretty much done for you if you're just willing to take the time. But if your day is jam-packed, you don't want to add anything to it, you may not want to. So if you can't lose money, if you're not going to put in the work.
But now it's not something you have to do every day.
It's not. And that's which comes to our next question. Did
I segue?
You did segue. So that brings you to the next question you have to ask yourself. Am I a short-term investor or am I a long-term investor?
Well, I know if you're going to be in the stock market, it needs to be long-term.
Absolutely. Now, there are those who will say, have you ever bought penny stocks and made, yes, I have. And yes, I've had a good return. However, there's been days that I've bought those and not so much. It's been a loss. So if you're going to be a day trader, you better really do a lot of studying and be on your game. And I'll typically trade daily, sometimes bi-daily, not every day sometimes. But for what we're going to talk about today, these are for folks who have a little extra money. They want to put it in some stocks that is long-term.
Okay.
Okay, and we're going to discuss that too. So let's go ahead right now and look at our first slide.
Okay.
Looking at this first slide, we can see that there's a little picture here of a phone. It looks like an iPhone, and it has this little app opened up. And on that is a picture of Robinhood, which is an app you can download.
The little feather.
The little feather. Now, the reason why I love Robinhood's app is, and this is the app that I use, Robinhood charges you $0 commission.
Ooh, I like that.
So if you want to invest $10, you're not going to have to worry about paying $5.95 per trade. Okay. So you're going to be able to buy and sell without a massive. Now they do in the fine print of their documents, they do charge commission fees, but it's like $18 per $1 million you trade. And if you're trading $1 million, you're probably not worried about using the Robinhood app. You may be worried about using another higher level platform. Now, there's not going to be a stop loss feature. It's not going to automatically sell for you. You have to control the functions on this. Okay. But Robinhood is great because they do give you quick information like your dividends the company pays, what their market cap is, what their daily trading volume average is. It gives you those kind of things. So it'll update that in real time. Now, they do make you do a 3-day waiting period unless they have a premium subscription, Robinhood Gold, that you can buy, but they make you do a 3-day waiting period if you sell before you can reinvest that money. So if you bought a stock today and you made $2 or $3 extra and you sell today, you can't turn around tomorrow morning or 5 minutes later and then reinvest that money unless you do the premium account. Okay. But the free account, you can wait 3 days and buy that. So let's talk about the David Marks strategy. This is the 80-20 strategy, and I want to call this the Job and Kenny Rogers strategy if I can. And I know you may be thinking
Job and
Kenny Rogers, yes. Because the Job and Kenny Rogers strategy is an 80-20 strategy that I try to use. Okay. So I try to be Job with 80% of my portfolio or 80% of my money. Okay. This is the money that I invest into long-term holds that are dividend-bearing stocks. Something like a Walmart or something like an AT&T or a Ford or a company that is very sound, that is going to pay me a dividend and that I'm going to hold for maybe the next 20 years. Okay. This is a move that Warren Buffett would probably advise you on doing, is you're not going to get rich quick kind of stuff. Right. Now, the gambler stock or the Kenny Rogers stocks is 20% of that portfolio, because sometimes you got to know when to hold them and you got to know when to fold them or sell them is what it would be on the market. Now, these are the stocks that you are literally taking a gamble on. And you may throw the dice, buy the stock, but you better be careful.
So are the quick picks you share with us the gambler or the dividend?
No. The quick picks that I do every week are the Job stocks. Okay. They are the ones that I feel like are a long-term bet. Okay. I would typically never, ever, ever on here tell someone, hey, you need to buy this stock because on a Kenny Rogers stock, as I might say, on my gambler stocks, because I feel like that when I'm doing that, I'm setting people up for a high risk.
Right.
Because
and we're here to help, not here to lose all your fun money.
Absolutely.
Not your savings, your fun money.
So now you've set up your Joe Kenny Rogers 80-20 David Marks plan. You've downloaded the Robinhood app. You've got everything synchronized. Now you do have to submit your Social Security number because if you make money in the stock market, you have to
pay taxes. The government wants your money.
The good thing about that is you only have to pay taxes when you take the distribution or withdrawals from those funds, and it depends on the tax bracket you're in. So if you buy stock, sell stock after a gain, and you buy more stock with it, you keep it in the market, you don't have to pay taxes on that.
So if you don't ever pull it out, you just keep making money, more money, no tax.
You pay taxes on it when you withdraw the gains, okay?
You know, we need to have our cameraman come on one day because I know he's downloaded the app, and I wonder if he's made any fun money.
And I'm glad to hear he has, and I would love to know what he's doing because his strategy may be different than mine. He could probably school me on that and give me some good advice, I'm sure. So.
He doesn't let his wife spend money much, but he buys lots of stuff. Bought a truck recently.
But he is doing it wisely.
You think?
He's investing in the market. He bought a vehicle that gets him from point A to point B.
True.
So, you know.
I know he looked for a month before he bought one.
See, and that's smart buying. Not impulse buy on a vehicle or a house.
True.
So, now let's go to our next round. You've got all this set up with your Robinhood app. You're ready to buy.
Robinhood, free to use. You pay taxes when you pull it out.
Yes.
Does it for you.
Yes.
Start with $10.
You can start with 5 if you want to.
Okay.
But that's not going to be able to really buy you anything. So now let's look at what companies that you would want to invest in. How would I pick a company? I see company here.
Well, it would be what you would suggest on our Money Tree quick stock picks.
Sure. So let's look at our second slide.
It's quick pick, but you thought that was a lottery thing, right? Because
right,
you said that. Okay.
Scratch it off.
Sorry. We're on the... Sorry.
We're going to get there.
Okay.
Let's look at our second slide.
Okay, second slide.
Looking at that, we can see that there's different things I want to discuss for just a moment. The first thing is the PE ratio. This is price per earning ratio. So someone might ask, well, what exactly is the PE ratio?
I have no idea, but what is the PE ratio mean?
That is a great question.
Sorry, I was having a moment of sleepiness there. Sorry.
Sleep deprivation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the PE ratio is a price per earning ratio that values a company at its current share price.
Okay.
So what it's going to do is it's going to take that share and it's going to divide it by the earnings the company had. Now, when you do this, did I go through that too fast?
It helps determine what the price per share is.
It will give you a ratio.
Okay.
And what you do is you take the price of the stock and divide it by the earnings of that company.
Okay.
So when you do that, it will give you a number, and I would always suggest looking for a stock with a PE ratio between 17 and 20. 17 is the magic number I look for, because if it has a PE ratio of 17, that tells me that it's probably a fairly priced stock.
Okay.
There's still room for earnings to take place at the price the stock is selling for. If you have a stock with a PE ratio like Facebook right now, their PE ratio, I think when I looked, was like 85. That's very high.
Okay.
Very high. Now, if you have a PE ratio, if you're looking on your Robinhood app and it gives you a PE ratio of NA, which means
non-existent.
Yeah. That means it's probably a very risky 20% Kenny Rogers gamble stock, because that means they probably had negative earnings in that company. And if a company is losing money,
don't be putting yours in.
That's a gamble. That's a gamble. So the next thing we want to look at is the PEG ratio, or the PEG ratio.
And that means?
Now this is for those. Now the PE ratio is listed on the Robinhood app under each stock.
Okay.
The PEG ratio is not. You have to do your own research on the PEG ratio.
Okay. And what does it mean?
So the PEG ratio is going to take the PE ratio that we talked about just a minute ago, and it's actually going to divide it by the future estimated growth.
Okay.
So you have your PE ratio divided by your future estimated growth. Now, what's the thing about estimated growth?
You don't know for sure. It's what you think.
It's estimated, right. So with this is just another little indicator you can use. The lower the PEG ratio, the better off you are, as long as it's not below like 0.2, I would say.
Okay.
So I would say that if you're looking at the PEG ratio, the PEG ratio, to pick a stock, you want to pick a stock that has a PEG ratio between 0.5 and 1.0. Because if you look at a stock that has a PEG ratio that's higher, that stock is probably overvalued.
Okay.
And you may not want to buy into it. Okay?
So 17 is the magic number for the PE ratio.
Yes.
And 0.5 to 1 is the PEG.
Yes. So now I actually have some examples I want to discuss. So that it's pretty simple to remember, right?
Yes.
17 to 20 PE, 0.5 to 1 PEG ratio.
Gotcha.
So let's look at Walmart.
Okay.
We all know what Walmart is. Their PE ratio is 17.75. So what does that tell you about their PE ratio as a company?
It's 17 is a magic number, and it can go up, like you said, the other Facebook was at 85. So it's close to the magic number.
So Walmart at 17.75 has an EPS, estimated profits per share, of 4.4. So when we divide those numbers out, its PEG ratio is 4.03.
That's not good, because
Right.
you want it to be 0.5 to 1.
Right. So even though Walmart has a strong PE ratio of 17, which looks favorable, their stock price, if you were to buy in right now, is a little high.
All right, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Where does one find the PEG?
You do the math. You have to actually, that's what goes back to the research.
Okay.
Now, Yahoo Finance has an app, and Yahoo Finance will actually tell you the PEG ratio. You just have to search for it company to company.
Okay.
So some will do that for you.
The internet will help you.
The internet will help you, and you can actually just Google it probably and find it also.
Okay.
So now let's talk about the next one. This is one called Boyd Gaming, and we're going to talk about it in our picks this week. Their PE ratio is 6.92.
Okay, that
So
sounds good.
that sounds okay,
it's
but it's a little low.
Yeah,
right, it's a little low. Their estimated profits per share, though, for this next year is 3.64. So their PEG ratio, their PEG ratio is 1.9. So their PEG ratio actually looks a little more favorable than Walmart,
Yeah.
even though their PE ratio looks a little low.
Yeah.
So what that tells me is either one of two things is about to take place with this stock. Either the company is about to really take off and they're
Or-
going to have some gains, or that stock is overvalued and it may really lose. So that's where you want to be very careful. The PEG ratio looks good, but the PE ratio, you really got to watch that, because that means their earnings, the price over their earnings is maybe not that great.
Okay.
The next one is Amazon. Their PE ratio is 187.
187.
187, and their EPS is 5.31, which is their estimated per share growth is 530 with their return. Their PEG ratio, is 35.34. So Amazon would be a company that you might think you want to buy into, but I would say Amazon would not be something, because I feel like Amazon's stock price is too high right now.
Okay.
Now I could say that today, and
tomorrow it'd be different.
It may go up a lot tomorrow, but I feel like that Amazon right now is kind of like one of those the cup is full to the brim deals. That stock is probably not going to skyrocket over the $1,000 mark.
Okay.
And it's a very high price stock right now. Now, if you had looked at Amazon in 2001,
Yeah.
it would have definitely been. And Amazon really made a strange move. They are starting to build brick and mortar stores.
Really?
Yes, which is kind of surprising, because they're kind of the online retailer that is destroying brick and mortar stores.
It is kind
So
of strange, isn't it?
maybe backward thinking. So maybe that information helped you on the stock market. I know that
Yes.
we're almost at time for our weekly stock picks. Do you have any questions before we go, though? Is there anything that I can answer for you about the investing in the market?
Well, I think it's just never have done it before. You know, but
it's
I mean,
scary, right?
when you look at the thing about, if you go to a place and you buy a scratch off or a lottery ticket and you walk away and you didn't win anything, why not try
Putting
putting
your
the
money in the market.
$10 into the stock market
Absolutely.
with a Robinhood app
Absolutely.
and just giving it a shot?
See what happens. And we're going to give you, that's a great segue into this. Remember, if you're long term,
That's twice in the same show. I've segued
star
into
in
the
your
next.
crown on the money tree, or in your apple, whatever. So the dollar. So if we just keep in mind, if it worries you sick to lose money, don't do it until you feel comfortable.
Okay.
PE ratio of 17 to 20.
And the PEG of 0.5 to 1.
You're learning so much.
And you got to look at both, not just one,
Absolutely.
because it can be misleading.
Yes, you can. There's other factors too, but we might talk about that at a later time.
Okay.
Let's look at our third slide real quick.
All right.
looking at this third slide, these are the 5 companies for our weekly stock picks this week. You want to do your little thing?
Quick pick.
There you go.
Stock pick.
It was very close.
You got me on the thinking about the lottery thing.
There you go. So our first company is Exact Science Corporation. This is EXAS, and this is an early cancer screening company. BioGuard is
It's a
for
testing
colon
facility.
It is it's something
Testing.
that it's an at-home colon cancer screening kit that you have.
And that's all we're going to say about that.
That's all we're going to say.
Kid-friendly show.
It's up 60% in the last 3 months.
Yeah, but look at the price.
Right. The price is $36.42. I don't feel like this would be a safe buy over $40. I feel like if you see it over $38, don't buy it. But right now, I still feel like there's a little bit of room that you might can make some small profit off of it.
It's too expensive. I got $10, so I can't do it.
Okay. Well, let's look at our next one then. The Gabelli Equity Trust. Okay. This is one that's going to give you, they've declared a second quarter dividend of 15 cents per share.
Wow.
So, and it has low volatility. That means it's not a high gambled stock. It's at $6.11. So if you went and bought 1 share of that after the next quarterly dividend, they would give you 15 cents for owning that stock.
It's better than losing it all.
That's right. The next one is Orchard Island Capital. This is one that I heavily invest in. Okay, and
you heard it right here.
Yes.
Heavily invest in.
They offer a 15% monthly dividend.
Monthly.
They pay me monthly to own this stock. Now, I feel like it's at a good buy price. I feel like anywhere between $9.50 and $10 a share is a very good buy on this. It's at $10.05 today. It's what it closed at. That tells me that's a pretty good buy price for that. The next one is the Boyd Gaming Corporation that we talked about. Why not? If you've got $25, it closed at $25.41. Why not take a gamble on that? No pun intended, since it's a gaming company. And it has a low PEG ratio.
Yep.
Right? So it may be worth the gamble. I think it has room to grow. I really do think they do. And the last one, of course, is one that I have a lot of times here weekly, the Liberty All-Star Equity Fund. I love this fund. It has investments in over 100 companies. They've had a 9% return on the year with their growth plus their 2% dividend. So it's a 7% growth fund, very low volatility. And look, you could buy in those on this when it closed today at $5.57.
Hey, $10 with money to spare.
That's right. So you could be doing great.
We're going to bring some people on that have tried the Robinhood app and let them know, and maybe I'll be one of those proud testimonials.
Absolutely. And here's what we'd love for you to do. Go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/MoneyTreeTV. Like our page. Comment on the video and let us know what you're doing. Let us know. Hey, I've got a 15% return, because you may need to come tell me what you're doing. I would love to hear that.
That's exactly right. Hey, we're almost out of time. We want to say thanks so much for watching the Money Tree.
Yes.
Let's practice with Robinhood in the stock market.
Yes. And you know what? davidlmarch.com/money-tree. All kind of resources there. We want you guys to get in contact with us. Let us know what you think. We love doing this show, and we thank Mountain Valley Newspaper
and Farmers Telephone TV
for giving us the time of day to even do this.
Hey, our time is come and gone. Have a great evening, a great day, and we look forward to seeing you the next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.